This piece began with something my body understood long before I did. I want to speak directly to anyone who has ever felt obligated to help someone move heavy objects, especially men who feel pressured to say yes when a single woman asks, and women who feel pressured to help other women because we should be strong for each other. I want you to hear this clearly: it is okay to say no. It is okay to protect your back. It is okay to encourage someone to hire professionals instead of risking your spine for the sake of politeness or chivalry. Many of us look at an object and think, it is only 20 pounds. I can handle that. But the physics of the human back do not work that way. Your spine does not care about social expectations. It cares about load-bearing angles, disc pressure, and whether the weight you are lifting can support itself. Dead weight behaves differently. It strains differently. It injures differently. I learned this the hard way. I live with dissociative identity disorder, a trauma-based condition where different parts of me step in when the nervous system feels overwhelmed. It is not a sign of mental illness, and it is not the stereotype people imagine. For me, it is simply the way my body protects itself. During a period of high stress, I was using a 26-pound object every day as part of what I believed was emotional grounding. I never once considered the physics of it, the load-bearing strain, the spinal discs, the way dead weight behaves differently from supported weight. I was just trying to regulate, unaware that I was putting repeated pressure on my lower back. Then one of my protector alters stepped in. I was preparing for an emergency move. My nervous system was overloaded. I was dissociating more frequently. And during that time, one of my alters made a decision I did not understand until much later. It removed the 26-pound object entirely. I was not aware of it happening. When alters switch, I cannot control it. I arrived safely in another state, rested for a week, and only then realized the object was gone. At first, I did not understand why. Later, I understood everything. Once my body was calm enough to think clearly, I learned the medical truth. Repeatedly lifting and carrying dead weight can cause herniated discs, chronic back strain, and degenerative spinal changes, especially for someone my size. I am 5 feet 1 inch tall and normally weigh around 118 pounds. My protector alter was not acting out of impulse. It was acting out of nervous system protection. It removed a physical threat I did not yet recognize. That realization is what inspired this song. It is not about the object itself. It is about the physics of the body, the instincts of trauma, and the way dissociation sometimes protects us from injuries we do not see coming. It is about understanding load-bearing reality the same way we understand emotional load. Both can break you if you do not know how to carry them. This is the story behind the song. People think the spine is a superhero, built of steel, forged to carry the world. But it is just bone stacked on bone, soft discs in between, little cushions doing overtime every time you lean. Lift wrong once, you feel it. Lift wrong twice, you remember it. Lift wrong 3 times, your chiropractor starts smiling like, "Welcome back, friend, let us talk about physics." Your back has rules, angles it likes, angles it hates, ways it bends, ways it breaks. And every object you pick up has a personality. Some cooperate. Some fight you. Some pretend they are light until they hit you with the truth halfway up the stairs. Gravity has one job, and it does it too well, pulling everything downward like it is ringing a bell. You bend at the waist, it cheers. You twist while you lift, it celebrates. You think you are strong enough, gravity says, "Great, let us escalate." Every object you carry has a secret little math problem, a hidden equation your spine has to solve in real time. Lift it too far from your body, torque kicks in. Lift it with rounded shoulders, pressure sets in. Lift it while you are stressed, your muscles forget what teamwork even is. And that is how people end up in a chiropractor's office saying, "Doc, I swear it did not look that heavy." And the doctor just nods, because they have heard that story 1,000 times from 1,000 backs that tried to negotiate with physics. Your back is that quiet friend who never asks for much, just a little good posture and a bend with your knees touch. But the moment you lift something it did not sign off on, it starts filing complaints like it is human resources at dawn. It is dramatic, but honestly, it is right. Because every vertebra has a job description. Every disc has limits. Every nerve has boundaries. And none of them appreciate your, "I will just grab this real quick," philosophy. Your back remembers everything, every twist, every strain, every time you acted brave when you should have acted wisely. And it will warn you, gently at first, with a whisper of fatigue, until one day it speaks louder in a language called, "You should have listened to me." Your spine is like that friend who never forgets a favor, but also never forgets when you lifted something with terrible form. It keeps receipts, every awkward angle, every rushed lift, every, "I will just grab this real quick," that turned into a chiropractic visit. It is patient, but it is firm. It remembers everything. You might think you are done once the box hits the floor, but your back is in the background filing paperwork. Case number 42, twisted while lifting. Case number 43, bent at the waist, again. Case number 44, object held too far from the core. And when the day is over, you stretch, you sigh, you rest, meanwhile your spine is whispering, "We need to talk about your decision-making process." Your muscles hold secret meetings every time you reach and lift, trying to coordinate the chaos of your, "I will just move this," shift. The core says, "We need backup." The legs say, "We were not warned." The shoulders say, "This angle is wrong." The lower back says, "I am filing a complaint by morning." It is teamwork, but the kind where nobody trained for the job, and everyone is improvising like a last-minute volunteer group. Because when you lift something heavy without planning the choreography, your body becomes a flash mob of muscles doing geography, mapping pressure, mapping torque, mapping every inch of strain, until one muscle taps out and the rest inherit the pain.
And that is how a simple lift turns into a full-body debate, with your spine moderating the argument like, "Folks, this is not up for debate." Lift one thing wrong, and suddenly your whole body joins the conversation. Your hips shift left trying to balance the situation. Your knees lock up like they are bracing for negotiation. Your shoulders rise like they are filing a protest. Your neck leans forward like it is seeking clarification. It is a chain reaction, a full-body town hall meeting where every muscle group has something to say about the choice you just made. Your ankles whisper, "We were not trained for this." Your ribs mutter, "Why are we involved?" Your hamstrings tighten like they are signing a petition. And your lower back sighs, "Here we go again." Because when one part of you gets overloaded, the rest of you starts rearranging the furniture trying to keep you upright, a whole biomechanical orchestra playing a song you never meant to conduct. One wrong lift and compensation spreads like a rumor in the body. Your left hip leans in trying to save the day. Your right hip panics and leans the opposite way. Your ribs flare out like they are trying to make space. Your shoulder blades tighten like they are bracing for a chase. It is choreography nobody rehearsed, a domino effect where the first move makes the next move worse. Your calves jump in trying to stabilize the scene. Your ankles wobble like they are walking on caffeine. Your upper back stiffens like it is guarding a secret. And your lower back whispers, "We cannot keep this up." Because once compensation starts, it does not stay in one place, it travels, it spreads. It recruits every muscle into a job they never applied for. And that is how a single lift turns into a full-body chain reaction, a biomechanical group project where nobody knows what the assignment was. Before anything snaps, before anything tears, your body sends whispers like it is trying to spare you the trouble of learning the hard way. A little tingle in the lower back, a soft ache that drifts in and drifts back, A tenderness that says, hey, slow down today. It is not dramatic, it is polite. It is your body's version of tapping you on the shoulder like, friend, we need a minute. You soak in a warm bath. Muscles loosen like they are exhaling. You rub on that minty cream, and your back starts recalibrating. You rest for a night, and the body gets to work, repairing micro tears, cooling inflammation, resetting the choreography you threw off yesterday. And by morning, you feel fine, like nothing ever happened. Because the body is brilliant at fixing small mistakes when you give it time, warmth, and a break from pretending you are invincible. Your body starts to be polite, but it does not stay polite forever. Ignore the tingle, ignore the tenderness, ignore the soft ache that asks you nicely to rest, and the body shifts gears from whisper to weather alert. The muscles tighten like they are bracing for impact. The nerves flare like someone flicked a tiny match. The lower back stiffens like it is guarding a fragile secret. And suddenly every step you take feels like your spine is negotiating a peace treaty it never agreed to. You try to stretch it out, the body says, not enough. You try to walk it off, the body says, try again. You try to pretend nothing is wrong, the body says, friend, we are past pretending. Because once you ignore the gentle warnings, the body upgrades the message, from soft ache to sharp reminder, from whisper to stern conversation, from take it easy to sit down now. It is not the injury yet, but it is the crossroads, the moment your body says, we can still fix this, but only if you listen. Ignore the whispers long enough, and the body stops whispering. It switches to sirens, red lights, full volume notifications you cannot mute. A sharp bolt shoots through the lower back, not a suggestion, a command. A sudden freeze where the muscles lock up like they are guarding a broken gate. This is the moment when micro tears become macro trouble, when discs swell like they are protesting the workload, when nerves flare like electric wires touching the wrong circuit. You try to stand straight, your spine says, absolutely not. You try to bend, your muscles say, we are done. You try to walk, your legs say, we are filing a formal complaint. Because once the body reaches this point, it is not being dramatic, it is protecting you the only way it can. Pain becomes the language, stiffness becomes the warning, and every step becomes a reminder that the body begged you to slow down long before it had to break to get your attention. Push past the sirens, push past the freeze, push past the moment your body begged you, please, and pain stops being a visitor, it becomes a tenant. It settles in the lower back like it signed a lease. It shows up every morning like it is clocking in for work. It is not sharp anymore, it is steady, predictable, a background hum that reminds you of every lift you should have skipped. The disc swells like it is guarding the border. The nerve flares like a spark with an order. The muscles tighten like they are bracing for court. And suddenly your whole spine feels like a long-term report filed under, we warned you. You bend to tie your shoes, pain says, I live here now. You reach for a shelf, pain says, we talked about this. You sit too long, pain says, I am just doing my job. Because once the body crosses from strain into injury, it does not forget. It remembers the moment you ignored the warnings, and it keeps the memory in the language of chronic ache. Once pain decides to stay, most people do not change. They just try to push through it like pain is optional and physics is negotiable. They bend slowly, pretending it is fine. They stand up quickly, pretending it is normal. They walk stiffly, pretending nobody notices the new choreography. They start doing that careful robot movement, where every step is a calculated risk, every reach is a silent prayer, every twist is a gamble they lose more often than they win. They grab a grocery bag with the good side. They avoid the low shelves like they are booby-trapped. They sit down like they are landing a plane, and they get up like they are negotiating a treaty. Because once the injury settles in, you do not move the same, you move with strategy, with caution, with a new respect for angles, weight, and the laws you did not know your spine was enforcing this whole time. Once pain moves in, your whole routine changes. Not because you want it to, but because your back starts running the show. You drop things on purpose just so you do not have to bend. You sit down sideways like you are sneaking into a meeting. You tie your shoes like you are negotiating a contract with gravity itself. You start choosing chairs based on lumbar support, parking spots based on walking distance, and grocery bags based on which side is having a better day. You avoid low cabinets like they are haunted. You avoid heavy doors like they are testing you. You avoid sudden movements like they are written in fine print on your medical chart. And every time you forget and move too fast, your back taps you on the shoulder with that familiar ache, like, remember who is in charge now. Because once chronic pain arrives, it does not just change your body, it changes your habits, your choices, your choreography, until your whole life starts orbiting around the angles your spine approves.
Once your back becomes the boss, you start studying it like it is a college course you never meant to enroll in. You learn the difference between morning stiff and something is wrong. You learn which chairs are allies and which chairs are enemies. You learn that cold weather is not just a season, it is a personality test for your spine. You start predicting flare-ups like a weather forecaster. Rain is coming, my back told me. Cold front moving in, my spine sent a memo. You adjust your environment like a backstage crew. Pillows for support, heat pads on standby, careful angles for every reach, every twist, every bend. You become fluent in the language of discomfort, the dull ache, the sharp reminder, the slow burn, the sudden freeze, each one a different dialect of the same message. Respect the physics you did not know you were breaking. Because once chronic pain arrives, you do not just feel it, you study it, track it, decode it, until you know your spine better than you know your own reflection. Once you have lived with back pain long enough, you become the neighborhood expert, not because you studied it, but because your spine gave you the syllabus. You start warning people about bending at the waist, about twisting while lifting, about grabbing heavy things like they are harmless. You say it casually, but with the confidence of someone who has seen the consequences firsthand. You tell folks, keep the weight close, like you are teaching physics. You tell them, use your legs, like you are coaching a team. You tell them, do not rush the lift, like you are narrating a documentary about human survival. You become dramatic in the most practical way, stopping people mid-reach, correcting their posture, moving objects for them before they make the mistake you made. And when they laugh or brush it off, you just smile with that knowing look, because you have already lived the sequel they are trying to skip. Back pain turns you into a mentor, a coach, a biomechanical consultant nobody asked for but everybody needs, because once you have felt what a wrong lift can do, you do not let anyone else learn it the hard way. Once your spine starts calling the shots, your whole world gets rearranged like you are remodeling a house you did not know needed renovation. You move the heavy things to higher shelves so you do not have to bend. You put everyday items within arm's reach like you are planning a mission with zero margin for error. You choose chairs based on lumbar loyalty, mattresses based on firmness philosophy, and pillows based on whether they support your long-term survival. You stop buying big detergent bottles because you have learned that family size is just code for back pain waiting to happen. You switch to smaller containers like you are curating a museum of safe lifting choices. You place grab tools in strategic spots. You angle lamps so you do not have to twist. You reorganize closets so everything sits at spine-approved height. And when people ask why your home looks so intentional, you just shrug with that quiet wisdom only back pain teaches, like, my spine has opinions now, I just follow the rules. Because once chronic pain arrives, you do not just change how you move, you change the world around you so your body can live in it without starting a protest. Once your spine starts negotiating every move you make, you develop rituals, not fancy ones, just survival ones. You stretch in the morning like you are waking up a stubborn old engine. You roll your shoulders like you are loosening gears that slept wrong. You bend slowly, test the waters, check the angles, make sure today's pain is the same pain you already know. You warm up before picking up anything heavier than a grocery bag. You do that careful twist to see if your back filed any new complaints overnight. You walk a few steps to confirm your spine is willing to participate in today's activities. You keep heat pads nearby like emergency equipment. You keep stretches memorized like safety procedures. You keep your movements measured, mindful, negotiated, a choreography you perform every morning before the world even sees you. Because once chronic pain arrives, your day does not start when you wake up, it starts when your spine gives you permission to begin. So let this be a lesson to you: movement matters, angles matter, listening to your body matters more than people think. But hear this clearly: not everyone with chronic back pain got it from an injury they caused. We are not here to judge anybody's story. Some backs hurt because of genetics, because of arthritis, because of scoliosis, because of nerve conditions, because of old surgeries, because of things they never chose and never caused. And they make the same adjustments: the careful bending, the slow rising, the strategic sitting, the daily rituals, the redesigned environments, the quiet negotiations with a spine that needs extra care. Pain has many origins, but the respect we give our bodies should be universal. So let this be a reminder, a gentle truth, a closing note: your body will talk to you, whisper, warn, protect, protest, and the greatest kindness you can give it is to listen before it has to shout. Because every spine has a story, and every story deserves compassion.
In closing, think of your back like a load-bearing wall. In every building, there are certain walls that carry the weight of the entire structure. If the architect does not calculate the load correctly, if the math is off, if the weight is too much, if the angle is wrong, those beams start to buckle. That building is not being dramatic. It is giving a warning sign. This load is too heavy. And when that happens, engineers rush in to stabilize the structure. They add supports, redistribute weight, and reinforce the frame. Sometimes it works. Sometimes the damage is too advanced to save. Your back works the same way. Your spine is your body's load-bearing column, a living structure that carries everything you do. If the load is too heavy, if the angle is wrong, if the movement is rushed, if the weight is held too far away, your spine will warn you the same way a building does. With strain, with stiffness, with pain, with signals that say, "This is too much." And just like a building, there are ways to stabilize it: rest, heat, proper movement, strengthening the support muscles, reducing the load, respecting the physics your body depends on. Sometimes the structure recovers, sometimes it does not, but the warning signs are always there if you listen. So the next time someone asks, "Can you help me move this?" Or, "Can you lift that for me?" Pause. Check in with your body. Ask yourself honestly, is this worth it? Because your back is not just a part of you, it is your foundation, your architecture, your load-bearing wall. And once a wall buckles, it does not just affect the wall, it affects the whole building.
I'm your load-bearing wall, I'm your back. Engineered for limits, not for every load you stack. I'm your load-bearing wall, I'm your spine. I'll whisper you a warning long before the cracking line. I'm your load-bearing wall, I'm your frame. Respect the weight you carry or the weight becomes my pain. I'm your load-bearing wall, I'm your guide. Ask before you lift it, is this worth the strain on my side? Treat me like a structure you never want to crack. Build me strong with movement, rest and wisdom in your pack. I'm your load-bearing wall, strong but never infinite. Honor what I carry and I'll carry you through this. I'm your load-bearing wall, I'm your back. Take care of me and I've got your back. I'm your load-bearing wall, I'm your back. Take care of me and I've got your back. I'm your load-bearing wall, I'm your back. Take care of me and I've got your back. I'm your load-bearing wall, I'm your back. Take care got your back. I'm your load-bearing wall. On your back, take care of me, and I've got your back. I'm your load-bearing wall. On your back, take care of me, and I've got your back. I'm your load-bearing wall. On your back, take care of me, and I've got your back. I'm your load-bearing wall. On your back, take care of me, and I've got your